I often hear people say in reference to their meditative practice that it's not working. My first instinct is to say, you're not working. Which is most often true. People are often very sporadic about their practice, about their effort. They're very occasional. And what happens in an occasional practice, any of you who go to the gym probably know this, is not a lot of result. And the result that one looks for spiritually is often something your mind is telling you. It's a level of attainment or relaxation or ease or release of difficulties, depressions, pain, etc. And sometimes that is a result of meditation. It can occur. And the more you are expert at sitting and doing the work, the more you will have control of the levers, if you will, of opening your heart, opening your mind, opening your gut to whatever is there. And it's not a machine that you can use on occasion. It really has to be used. It has to be, I would use the word repaired, although that's not quite the right word. But it's a tool that is either active or once in a while something you grab out of the garage to try to fix something. And what I would like to encourage is that you begin to understand the value of a practice and of the work, as Rudy called it, the work. And as you are all, I think, aware, the world around us is becoming increasingly challenging, if you will. And a lot of people are reacting to that, both the ecological and the political realms. And then for those of you like me who are also experiencing the transformation of bodily experience, there's a lot of stuff going on. And there's a lot of need in the spiritual practice or the work of taking this time seriously and using it to be transformative of whatever it is inside you that is getting lost or stuck or obsessed by or confused by, disturbed by all of these outer realities. And they're not going away. The trajectory on all of our lives, if nothing else, leads to a kind of profound discomfort. And if ever there was a time, and I think I say this pretty weakly, where the work becomes foundational and essential, it really is in the process of getting older, living more into an experience of the world and of the body that really ultimately are non-erasable. You have to stare at them pretty much in a deep, deep and powerful way. And if you don't have a structure inside that's polished and working, you will probably say, oh, well, it's not working. And again, I would come back at you and say, you're probably not working. In a way, it means sitting every day. You know, I think that practice is really valuable. But in the end, sitting every day is really, I think, at least it proved for me, a doorway to a kind of practice that involved showing up every day, all day, even all night if it is necessary. So that it's not about something you segment into a morning hour or a later afternoon hour where you just sit and do the work, which is important, and I'm not going to dismiss that. But the real work, if you will, is being profoundly present in the reality of each moment. And I used to think I was pretty good at it. And I just, I kind of moved through life with a kind of what felt like a blessing of Rudy's ease and caring in the practice itself, and then something much larger kind of informing my life. But like all human beings, there comes a point, I think, in the realm of disintegration and suffering and pain and all those other things, which unfortunately, I hate to tell you, are somewhat inevitable, that the old effort isn't the right effort. It's not enough. It's simply not enough. And what you need to do in those moments, possibly, is sit again, sit longer, make the effort. And the effort really is the effort of, as Rudy would call it, surrender, letting go. So, what are you letting go of? You may not be able to let go of the pain. You may not be able to let go of the reality of what's happening in the world around you. That may all be impactful in very potent ways. But what you can begin to let go of is your interaction with all that, your obsession with it, your feeling of mindful annoyance, anger, hostility to what is. Hostility to what is problematic. It may be justified on some mental level, but hostility to what is, unfortunately, doesn't change what is. It just makes you live in an environment of hostility. Living in an environment of hostility is not a good choice. And for most people, it isn't even a choice. It's all they got. They have nothing but that and alcohol and whatever, mind-altering drugs or whatever, or games of Scrabble. I don't know whatever might work to get them out of that kind of dis-ease. But you do have something else, which is the work. And it does work. But it means that, of course, you have to do something. So when all of these issues start to come up, and this anger and annoyance and frustration with the totality of the world or of your body and your mind, or the things that are happening or not happening, that are being lost or suddenly being found, you are in a place where you have to ask for help as deeply as humanly possible to surrender. To some degree, that means accept what is, and sometimes even perhaps to accept your own disharmonious unhappiness at what is happening, and just accept, yes, that's a natural human experience. To actually not like what's going on is not necessarily the wrong thing. The problem thing is that you can't separate even from your dislike, your judgment. And the spiritual nature of our practice allows even that. You can step back from your own judgment. You can step back from your own suffering. You can step back from the configurations of misery that you have brought into your life, and just, if nothing else, go, It's an observational space, a spiritual space, if you want to call it, a stepping back from the totality of the what is, and especially if that involves an increasing disturbance in the world. Your job is not to become angry and reactive and leaving behind a practice that you no longer think works. Your objective at that point is do the work. Do the work. Ask for help. And it is astounding, and it is my own experience. And I'm talking to you not as a theoretical position and a paper on how to do the work. I'm talking, I do the work because I have no choice. My physiological decomposition, if you will, mental stuff going on in the world affects me in a very deep way. And I feel all of that happening increasingly with great disturbance and power. And if I don't take the breath, ask for help, to surrender actively, I find myself getting caught in this dark mind space that I do not think is good for any human being. And I'm getting to witness that dark mind space in a way that I haven't really seen before because, you know, bodily disintegration is not fun. And the mind can do a big number on it. And my mind does do that. And I have to do a whole other level of work in order to go, in a sense, thy will be done, or yes, even this, bow down to the larger complexity of what's happening, and then watch how the universe speaks to you. It's really unbelievably fascinating. To go personal for a moment, I told a story last week about these friends who I thought we may have lost because of a major disagreement on traveling to Glimmerglass and showing up at the restaurant late because we had gotten soaked at the coming out of the theater. And I don't remember how much of that I explained last week, but I saw a real loss of something happening, and pain, and a righteous pain. But what spoke to me yesterday was apologize. Even though I may not have been wrong, I don't think I was wrong. It didn't matter. It said apologize. Now, this directive came in, and I just went, okay. I don't stop and analyze. I just wrote this letter of apology and sent it off and got no response. But it was internally a freeing thing for me inside. It was the right thing. Last night, we went to a concert at the university here at Bard. Who is the first person that I see going in this crowd of maybe 500 people? The person I wrote the letter of apology to. He had not personally received that letter, but he told me his wife explained it to him. And he began to apologize to me, saying there was this terrible misunderstanding that he went through the whole mishigas of what took place. And I looked and I saw the universe aligning things in a way that were probably not without some interference or some effort by something larger, because the fact that he was standing right there was too remarkable. And then I got a letter from his wife this morning, I'd say repairing every little stitch of stuff that had happened. And again, it all stemmed from a voice in myself saying, repair this, write this note. Now, I've been trying to reach out to people wherever I can and trying to do all of these things, especially when I'm led to do it, but more and more it just kind of rises up. And I see how much repair can be done in our lives with others, with ourselves. It's a aspect of the work put into action. And it is amazing how it references back to us with such direction. Absolute. Why does this person appear as the one person in front of us walking into this theater? Well, there was no question in my mind why. Because the universe is working for me as a teacher, and because I am a student, and because I ask daily, sometimes hourly, sometimes minute by minute, for help to surrender, because the journey has become so demanding, so full of, what can I say, difficulty, that if I didn't have half a century of Rudy's practice right now, I would I would not be here talking to you. I know where I would be. I know the doctors I would be seeing and the drugs they would be giving me. I know how it works. We are very lucky to have something as simple as this practice that allows us to go into our mind and our heart and our gut and ask for help to let go and to allow us to go, thank you, to open to the what is, not necessarily to change it. I'm not changing the outcome of elections. I'm not changing the outcome of global warming, and I'm not changing the outcome of my aging. There's no way. They're too big. The forces are too big, too cosmological, and probably have a higher purpose than the mind can in any way grasp. All I can tell you is I don't want to be in battle mode with the what is. It doesn't work. There's no value in it. The thing you want to be is in the work. And again, for the thousandth time, but I'm telling you, as you get older and you start to hit this particular point in life, you will understand how lucky you are that there's something you can do to go yes instead of no to the dynamic of transformational experience that you're going to have as you get older, like pain and suffering and loss and emptiness. And I can use all those words, but you need to have something. And if you don't have something, that's problematic. There are people who attain a state of higher consciousness and awareness. And I do believe that that is one of the great attainments of life in the world. But trust me, when their body starts to do what it does, they're working as well. They are working. They are trusting this higher surrender to be a present tense experience all the time. And that is something we can work toward and get at. But the thing I'm most grateful for is when it's not present tense, I can do something to bring it into the present. I have a practice. You have a practice. We all have a practice. We have been gifted something. Why? I don't know. I don't know. But I can only say, walk around whenever you can through your day and just go, thank you. Just say thank you. Because we're never going to understand it. We're never going to be able to figure it all out. We're never going to be able to contain it into some kind of this is how it is and this is what it is. Forget that. You're not going to know. All you can know is if you are in flow with, in touch with, one with this unexplainable cosmological mystery that at times is beyond belief beautiful and at times difficult. And that's just the way it is. If you want it to be otherwise, God bless. If you figure it out, great. All I know is do the work. Any questions? Well, thank you. I appreciate that those of you who are here are essentially here because you're doing the work. And I'm not trying to make it the work, it's really the work. It's a gift. It's not a demand. It's not a challenge. It's not a I have to do or I can't do or whatever the things are that people imagine about the work. It's a gentle letting go, letting be, letting the universe work you as opposed to you doing the work. It will be worked. You will be worked. Trust me. Work is happening. And it has, I think it has purpose. I don't know exactly, but I know the one thing it does have is it gets me through the times where it feels hard, and I am really grateful for that. Okay, thank you all. Let me explain the next couple of weeks. Next week is the big Indian retreat here in New York, and some of you are coming for that, which I think is amazing. But I'm going to probably be recording it on my phone the way I used to. And then Arkady, if you and I can figure out how to transmit that recording back to you again, that would be great. And we'll post it. So what you'll get is a talk or a couple of talks rather than an actual Zoom class. There won't be a Zoom class. The week after that, just to set you up for this, my son Josh has rented a house on an island, on a private island. Sounds really interesting, and invited us to come spend a weekend with them. I hear it has an internet connection. If there is one and I can get Zoom, I'll do the next California class from this place on the island. And if that doesn't work out, then I will just tell you up front, there will be a missed class in 2 weeks. Take a vacation, do your own thing. But that's it. That's the news. I love you all. I really am grateful that you come. Kat, happy birthday again. Dale, we are praying for you and hope that all goes well. And if you want to talk privately, I'm available. Okay. And all of you, much love. Thank you for showing up. See you next time. Bye.